But one kind of like strong argument for divine simplicity we've brought up repeatedly so far is this idea of just tradition. Like there's this constant tradition with until like maybe like the 19th or 18th century of nearly everyone affirming divine simplicity. It's only these crazy people in the last like 50, 100 years that have kind of denied the doctrine. So how do you respond to that kind of objection to divine simplicity? Or kind of objection to an objection to divine simplicity?
Right. Yeah. So first thing I would say is like, which tradition? Because simplicity is not even mentioned in the ecumenical creeds, nor is it even gestured towards when you look at your average statement of faith that you find today at churches and Christian universities. Of course, when you look at like your average statement of faith today, like, you know, they're not terribly interested in the doctrine of God, but that's a different story for a different day. So here's the thing though, like the Christian tradition says lots of things, many of which people disagree with today. I have not met anyone who agrees with everything in the so-called Christian tradition. Like, I've not met anyone that affirms everything that has been held in the past. Every theologian and philosopher that I'm aware of cherry picks which part of the broad Christian tradition that they wish to affirm. And I don't think it could be any other way. Because when you look at the actual like church history, what you see is a continual evolution of ideas, constant debates, and reformulations of various ideas. And there's this constant like drawing the lines of what counts as heresy. And then like a few decades later, they'll like redraw the lines and be like, oh no, actually that's orthodoxy and this other thing's heresy. You see this constantly throughout the church like history. So to me, it actually makes a lot of sense because the tradition, like whatever that is, it's not the only source for Christian theology. Like Christian theology has multiple sources like scripture, reason, and experience. And in scripture, it's supposed to have like the most weight and authority for the church and for theologians, but you know, it doesn't usually seem to be the way it goes. So here's, I guess, how I see it. When I look at Augustine or like Gregory of Nazianzus or like, you know, other like early church fathers, what they tell me is that they want me to judge their arguments on the basis of scripture and reason. That's what they say. Judge my arguments. And so that's exactly what I do. Well, the Bible knows nothing of a simple God, and the Bible consistently paints a picture of God that directly contradicts classical theism. And so there are lots of biblical and reasonable objections to divine simplicity. And there are also lots of ways of undercutting all the traditional arguments in favor of divine simplicity. So why should I keep affirming the doctrine of divine simplicity? Because a bunch of dead guys said so? No. What they told me to do was judge their arguments. I did that. I found them wanting. Now we move on. So it can't just be the tradition. It has to be, I think it's just something else here.